Alright, hi everyone. Thank you for watching this video. This video should help you with your assignment that you're going to do today. So you're going to be working on making graphs and data plots on Google Sheets. So we spent last week working with stem and leaf plots, histograms, and circle graphs. And I'm going to show you how to make all three of those using Google Sheets, so that way if you'd prefer to do it that method, you can make them on Google Sheets so they kind of look a little bit nicer, especially when we get to those histograms and circle graphs, so that way we don't have to worry about calculating the angles, the angles of those sections of the pie chart. But for this particular case, we will be using Google Sheets. So what you should do is you are going to open Google Sheets. So you just open a brand new one, and you should have this screen. There shouldn't be anything on it. And the first one we're going to make is going to be a stem and leaf plot. Now what we're going to do is we're going to need to get some sort of data. So I'm going to grab this set right here. Alright, so we'll copy that and paste that here so we have that data there. So when we are making our stem and leaf plots, it's important to remember that we need to find our stems first, and then we can make our leaves. So in this case, we have numbers that range from 2 to 55. So what I'm going to do, and I think we worked through this problem in class, but we're going to choose the tens digit as our stems. So if we have single digit numbers, the stem is going to be 0, and then we'll go all the way down 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, even though there aren't any 40s within our data range, so we have some 10s, or some singles, 10s, 20s, a 30, a couple 30s, no 40s, and then we have 50. We still have to include 40 as a part of our stem and leaf plot. Okay, and then if you want as well, if you want to make that line, what you're going to do is you're going to select all of these columns, or all these cells, by clicking the top one. So you'll click the top here, and then you'll just drag that down. Alright, and then you will go to this button right here. It's kind of got like a little window, and you're going to click the right border. And if we look at that, see, now it's got a nice little border dividing the stems and then our leaves that will enter in. So all you need to do now is in each cell, you're just going to enter in the data. So we've got 2, 3, 5, 6, and then we've got 10, 14, 18, and then when we go here, 23, another 23, 30, 36, no 40s, so we don't put anything, we don't put 0, because that would mean that 40 is in our set, and we don't want that to happen. And finally, 55. So now, if we look at it, we have our stems here, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we have our data in our leaves over here, and we can see the distribution of the data much like we did in class. And in this particular case, most of the data falls within that 20 to 0 range. So that is how you will make a stem and leaf plot in Google Sheets. So again, you will get your data set in. I will provide sheets for you that has certain data sets that you can use. And then you're going to want to enter in your stems. If you want the border, you can make a border. Again, you're going to take the top cell, select them all. So just left click and pull that all the way down. And then you're going to go to this little window button. It'll say borders. And then right border. Okay? So now that we have done stem and leaf plots, now we're going to make histograms. And a histogram shows frequencies, the frequency of the amount of time something happened within a given interval. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually just make a bar graph for this problem, except we're going to have intervals instead of our normal just single value bars. So our bars will be like the range is 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15. We're going to use this as an example. So when you're in Google Sheets, it's important that you have 2 columns set up when we're making histograms, okay? You need to have your intervals in one column. So intervals in the first column, and then you're going to want your frequency. Oops. You're going to want your frequency in the second column. So in this case, if we're working with problem number 6, our interval is going to be, our interval will be states visited, and this will be number of times, pardon me for the mistake, number of times, change that to frequency. Okay, so you've got states and number of times visited. So in the 1 through 5, we'll have range 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15, and 16 through 20. Alright. Not sure why that's over there. Let's try this again. Alright, I guess that's not going to go over. There we go. Okay, so we've got 12 and 14, and 6, and 3 for our frequencies. Okay, so you see how we notice we have our intervals in this column here, and we have our frequency in this column here. So now what you're going to do is you're going to select all of your data. Now, we're not going to include intervals and frequency just because I wanted to use this to show you where things would go. So you're going to have intervals and frequency. So you want to select these states, and your interval ranges should be on the left, and then your number of times and the frequency that they visited this state. Okay, so you should have all of that selected. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go to the Insert tab, and you're going to go all the way down to Chart, and it's going to give you some recommendations, and you're going to want to go to Chart Types and scroll down until we get to Column, and you should see a preview of what it looks like. So we have our intervals on the bottom. It says states here, that gives us the label, and this is a number of times. And what you're going to do is you're just going to, once you've selected your bar graph, if you want to do a bar graph that looks like this too, you're welcome to do so. As long as you are picking something that looks similar to this, this would just be called column chart, and this one is bar chart. So they're pretty much the same thing. One's just going vertical, and this one is going horizontal. So once you've decided which one you want to use, you're going to click Insert, and it should show up on your screen. If you want, you can change the name of the the name of the graph. So we'll call this one number of states. Number of states visited. And there's a little legend here, so if you want that, you can use that. And then I'm not sure why this label didn't show up. I think it just had to do with just had something to do with this part here. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but as far as the other intervals go, this seems to line up pretty well. So that's how you make a histogram. You're going to just create your intervals, and then you're going to create your number of times or your frequency, and then you're going to select the whole thing, so all of your data, including your labels. You go to Insert, Chart, and you'll pick your chart, so either column or bar, and then Insert, and you should be left with something like that. Alright, and last but not least, we have a pie chart. So we'll go to section here. Let's go to problem number 12 here. So it's basically the exact same setup that we had for the histogram. So we're going to set up our interval column and then our frequency column. Okay. And then our interval in this problem is going to be season. And our frequency is going to be rainfall in inches. And then our seasons, we've got summer, spring, fall, winter. And we have 9 for spring, 18 for summer, 6 for fall, and 3 for winter. And then you're just going to select that all again, and you go to chart. And if it recommends here, you can just do the circle graph. Otherwise, you go to chart types, select pie graph. You can do a 3D graph if you want, or a circular one like this too, donut chart. I'd probably go with the just the regular pie chart or the 3D pie chart, and then you'll just select insert, and it'll show up. You should have a little legend here explaining what each of these are, and it will include the percentages if you want to change what if you want to change that. You can go to let's see here, advanced edit, and actually don't worry about that. Percentages are fine, because you can just refer back to your table then to determine the total number of rainfall in this particular season. So that's pretty much it. So you got your stem and leaf plot here. So you've got our stems here and our leaves here going off to the side. Just making sure the biggest thing with stem and leaf plots, even though we don't have a 40 number, you still need to include it within your range of stems. So if you start at 0 and you end at 5, you got to include all of those numbers in your stems. And then your histogram, you got to make sure you have an interval column, frequency column, and then you're just going to select all of it, and you'll go insert chart, and then you will pick the chart type, which is column or bar, and then if you're going to make a pie chart, you will select pie chart or 3D pie chart and insert. Alright, this should be all then for the instructional video. If you have any questions, refer to your textbook as far as how to create them, but as far as what you need to know in making them in Google Sheets, this is how you do that. So good luck with the assignment, and I will see you all on Tuesday.